Welcome to our backtesting jam session. Welcome everyone, and we are getting started here with another session for our backtesting. And the purpose of this is really to get comfortable with price action. So what we're doing is we're looking back, we're going back in time, and we're using our simulator software. I'm using Forex Tester 3 here, and we're using the simulator software to actually go backwards in time and simulate what happened and how we can test or how we can take trades based on the price action that we see. So a price action or market patterns, they tend to repeat themselves. So we tend to get the same thing over and over again. So as a result of that, it's a great idea for us, or it's a really good idea for us to practice this. So that's what we're going to be doing. If you are joining me and if you would like to participate in it, feel free to post the comments and take your guess and post it in the comments, and we will play the game. So right now we're looking at a daily chart. This is pound US dollar daily. Basically, we look at the daily candlesticks and then we make an educated guess on where price is going next. And the purpose of the exercise really is to get really comfortable with doing some projections as to where the price is likely to go. So this exercise will also help us in the live market conditions, because it will be same thing that we'll be doing under live market conditions as well. So please feel free to join me and participate in this exercise. All right, so let's get started here. We're gonna go zoom out a bit just so we can get a good picture of where price is currently. So what we see here is price hit double bottom here. Since then, it's been moving upwards. It's been trading in this range for a while here. So now we need to see what it's going to do next. So what we have here is we're seeing the pressure into the upside here. So the question is, where does it go next? So as we can see, we're right into our resistance level here and looking up here. So we have other resistance levels, support resistance levels that I have marked already. So let's take a look. Okay, so feel free to make a guess on where it's going to go next. So we have a bullish candle and we are pushing into the resistance. So where do you think the price will go next? So what I'm looking for here is price to go and test the high. So this is looking bullish for me. So we could see price pull back a bit and then go test the high. So my target here, my bias will be to the upside, and I'm looking for price to go higher. So let's take a look. Okay, so it's pulled back, hasn't quite gone to the top here. So what do we expect here? Hi, Pritpa. Okay, and test the top and pull back. Okay, so now where do we expect the price to go? So we have a bearish candle close here. What are we looking for? So here I would be looking for price to potentially drop back down here. So right now this is where we currently are. So maybe drop back down into this bottom area right here. So let's see. Okay, so it drops down quite a bit all the way into the next pin here. Now what do we expect? So we have a bearish candle close, but we have a large pin. Hi, Justina. Okay, so let's see. So where do we expect the price to go from here? So in this case, Justina says pull back and go back up. I'm thinking the same. So I'm thinking it's likely to drop and pull back and then go up again. So either drop back down into this and then go up, or Pritpal says up as well. Okay, so let's see, or there. So pull back into that and then go up. So let's see. Okay, so it didn't quite pull all the way back here, but did pull back a bit. And now we have a bullish candle close. What do we expect here? What's next? So for me, that's looking bullish. So I'd be looking for price to go higher from there. So again, we are pushing back into the high. So it looks like prices has started consolidating higher here. So I'd be looking for price to go up. This student says up as well. All right. So I'm looking for price to go back into these areas up here. So let's see. Okay, here we are all the way into the top. So now we are at the very, very top. What do we expect now? Where can we expect the price to go from here? Okay, so continue up. All right. So what I would do, this is where I would go into a smaller time frame and look at how price reacts at this height. So what I'm looking for here is price to break the high, then pull back into the high from the other side, and then go higher for it to break out. Or because we are consolidating right here, it could continue consolidating. So I'm not reluctant to take a long here till I see the price close on the other side and continue upwards, because otherwise we are in this sideways move here that price has been trading in. So let's take a look. So this is where I would go into a lower time frame and watch it on maybe 1 hour, 15 minutes. If it holds above, then I would be looking for price to move higher. So let's take a look. Overall though, buy still is bullish. Okay, so there we go. Price shot up all the way into the next support and resistance level, all the way up into this one here. So quite a move up. And this is what tends to happen when we see that price starts to consolidate higher up. And it's been sitting here for a while. It's been in the sideways range for a while. It does tend to go out with quite some momentum. So that's just a little side note there. So here we are back into all the way up here. So what do we expect price to do from here? So for me here, I would look for a bit of a pullback and see if price goes and tests the high once again. Let's see. Okay, so we have a little pin bar. So price is holding below the low. And what do we expect now? So as long as price stays, hey Sunny, so as long as price stays below this level, it could come back, it could pull back lower here. So let's see. Okay, so we have a bearish candle here. What do we expect? Okay, you're looking for a drop. Okay, I would be looking for a drop. So here we are, it's testing, and now we have a little pin bar. So price is going sideways here. Now what do we expect? Now I'm looking for, at this point, I'm looking for price to go higher and see if we can get a test of the high once again. It is going sideways here. So I'm looking for, see if price will go and test the high once again. Let's see. Okay, so it does test the high and then goes even further. So we have a bullish candle close here. So what do we expect now? All right. So now I'm looking for a price to pull back a bit into the high here and look for it to continue further. Let's take a look. Bias is still bullish here. Let's see. Okay, so it actually doesn't pull back very much at all. It goes all the way up. And then we have a doji here, or a pin bar. Now what do we expect price to do? Okay, so here we do see rejection of the high. So here I will look for price to maybe come back down again into this sideways move that we have. So we're seeing it's gone up quite a bit now. So I'd be looking for price to come back down. I do like the pin bar here, the doji. So let's see. Okay, so we have seen this type of a price behavior as well. So price is into the high. What do we expect here? So here I'm looking for a price to go and test the high once again. And so this is where I would be looking to a smaller time frame and see how price reacts here. So if it breaks above the high and holds above the high, then I'm looking for price to continue higher. But if it doesn't break the high, then we can see price come back down again. So let's take a look. Okay, so this is exactly the price behavior we have seen prior as well, where price has not closed above the high. So the following day, we see the price come down. All right, so now we have a bearish candle close. We are into the highs. Where do we expect price to go from here? What is your bias here? So with this one, personally, I would be looking for price to drop from here. So for 3 days, price hasn't broken the high, which means it could drop. Just in it says drop. So yep, I would be looking for a drop as well. So let's see if that happens. Okay, there we go. Since it's going down. Yep. So we have a big drop here. So this is, if you see this type of a price behavior, we have seen this multiple times where we get a doji and then an inside bar where price is not able to break the high, and the following day we get a bearish candle. So this one here is a good signal that price is likely to go down, because now it hasn't broken the high for 3 days and chances are it's going to drop from there. So this is good. So now we have a big bearish engulfing candle close engulfs this previous price action here. Where do we expect the price to go from here? Okay, so for me here, I would be looking for price to pull back here and then potentially drop back down. I'm looking for it to go into the support area, right into this previous consolidation level here. So just in it says pull back and drop. Let's do test the support. Yes, and it says further down. Yeah. Okay, so we pulled back a bit. We have a doji here. And what do we expect here now? So in this case, we just have had a pullback. So now I would still be looking for that drop. So still looking for price to come down. And so we have had the pullback. So let's see if we can get a drop. Okay, so here we are. Drop the support, people says down. Yep, so perfect. You guys are doing great. Good job. So now we are back into our other consolidation area. We have a bearish candle close. Where do we expect it to go now? So in this case, I would be looking for a bit of a pullback here and then another drop. So I'm looking for price to come back into this consolidation area again. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we have the pullback back right into this pin here. And we have a little doji here. Just in says pull back and drop. Yep, so I'm looking for price to drop further here. So let's see. Okay, so it dropped right into the support that we were looking for. And now we have a bullish pin bar. So it dropped and then it pulled up higher. So where do we expect it to go from here? Okay, so for I will be looking for Prithpal says up. Okay, Justina says up. All right. I would be looking for price to go higher as well. So now I'm looking for price to go into this area and potentially higher here. So let's take a look. Okay, doesn't quite make it. So now we have a small red candle close with a little pin in the bottom. Where do we expect it to go next? So in this case, it's going sideways. So it doesn't really have any clear direction. We have seen a drop. We have seen it go sideways. So if it stays below this 1.6450 level, then it could continue to go downwards here. So let's take a look. Yeah, so let's say for it to become bullish, we need another candle up, and Justina's still up. So let's take a look. Okay, so went and tested all the way up here. And now we have a pin bar or a doji. Now what do we do? Okay, so for me here, this is a bearish candle here, looking for price to drop. So I will be looking for price to go into this level and then into the next support level here. So I'm looking for it to drop. So let's see if we get that. And here we go. So we are back into this support area. We have a bearish candle close. What are we looking for now? Okay, so for me, I would be looking for a bit of a pullback, maybe into this, into these pins here, and then looking for it to drop back down into support. So bias is to the downside. Justina says her bias is to the downside as well. Yeah, so I'm looking for price to drop. Let's take a look. Okay, here we are back into this support area, right into the bottom here. And now what do we expect price to do? So we've seen price drop, consolidate a little bit, drop further. We are into support. Now what? So because we are into support here and price had reacted before, it could go back up to test this level once again. So we have to be careful with this one. So this is where I would, again, watch the lower time frame and see if it holds above here, because then we're looking for a pullback here. So let's take a look. But if it breaks below here, then we are looking for price to continue lower here. So let's take a look at what happens. Okay, so it does pull back into that level. We have a bit of a pin bar, but there's green in the candle body, which means there is still, it's still sitting above the support here. So what next? What do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking to see if it again holds the price, holds above our support, because if it holds above our support, then we could push back higher here. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, and now we are into our previous support and resistance level. Where do we expect price to go from here? Okay, Sunny says up. Okay, so in this case, it's an interesting level again. Now, we are pulling back, but we don't have very, very strong candles here. So at this point, again, I would be looking at this resistance area. And the reason we keep looking at these areas are because we're not getting a solid close. So we went into this level, but now we have a pin on top, right? So we have bullishness in this candle. But if it doesn't break this level, this high here at 1.6300, then it could drop again. So that is our challenge. So let's take a look. I'm seeing bias, people commenting bias to the upside here. So here I would be cautious. It is looking like it could go higher, but I would be cautious at the resistance level because it could turn around there. So let's take a look. Okay, so see, that's what I was talking about. Because sometimes what happens is when the candles are not very strong, it can go and do a test of that level once again and then drop from there. So now we have a bearish engulfing candle close. Now what are we expecting? So for me here, I'm looking for price to drop further here. We could see a pullback into that level, into this level, and then see a drop. Just in it says down. Yeah, I'm biased to the downside here as well. So let's see if we can get a drop here. Okay, so we pull back into that level. So right now it looks like it's doing a sideways move. So if it stays. So this is interesting. So we are into sideways. It didn't break the highs, pulled back, but I think it could pull back higher here. It could pull back all the way, and it could give us a sideways move here, range bound move. So we do have a bullish counter close. I'm looking for price to go to test this resistance once again, and then potentially drop from there. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are, went into the resistance once again. So this is our range now. So we're starting to trade in this range. We are into the high of the range. What are we expecting? Okay, so here I am looking, Justin says drop towards support. Sunny says, yeah. Okay, so here I'm looking for price to maybe go and test the high once again and then drop from there back towards the bottom of the range. Let's see if we get that. Now, again, this is where we would have to pay attention at our smaller time frame, because if price starts to hold above this level here, now that could push it higher. So our daily candle close here is very neutral. We have pins on both sides. We have a small body and small candle close. So it could go. So Sunny saying it could go either way. I agree. It could go either way from here. So this is the way I would trade this is under live conditions would be, I would look at what price does into this resistance. So if the price is holding below here, I'm looking for a drop. If it starts to hold above this level, I'm looking for price to go back higher once again. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we are. It doesn't even go to test the high, just drops from there. So notice these multiple pins into that resistance level. So price just holds. Now we have broken below the previous low here. We have a bearish engulfing candle close. What do we expect from here? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to drop. We could get a pullback and then a further drop. I'm looking for price to go into the next support level. So let's see if we get that. Okay, we have a pullback all the way into the previous pin. Now what? So in this case, I will be looking for price to drop because we don't have an engulfing candle close here. We do have a bullish candle, but it's not quite engulfing. So it could still drop. Okay, so let's take a look. Not so much. So now we are pushing back into, so it pulled back into the bottom of this range now. And now we have pulled all the way back into the high of the range. Now what do we expect price to do? So here, again, we have to look at, now we have a strong bullish candle close. So it could go higher. Justina says a very strong candle. So it could go higher. People saying drop. All right. So we have multiple sides here. All right. And Sunny's saying hold the level and drop again. So let's take a look. So we do have a strong candle close here. So this is, again, I would look at the resistance level here and see how price reacts, because if it starts to hold above, it can shoot up all the way. But we do have a very strong candle close. So we have to be careful. So right now it looks like it could break to the upside. Let's see. Okay. So here we are, breaks out to the upside. Now what do we expect? Okay, so in this case, because we have broken to the upside here, I will be looking for price to go higher. We are into this level of resistance here where price had struggled before. So just something to be mindful of. Process continue up. So yeah, I will be looking for price to go into the next support and resistance area. So let's see if that happens. Okay, so here we are back into the next support and resistance area. Price still has momentum. Now, what are we looking for? So in this case, we are into resistance. So again, we have to be careful with this one, but it is looking bullish. And now we need to see the price break the resistance to the upside. So my bias is still to the upside, but again, I would be careful here, but bias is to the upside. So let's see if it goes higher. Okay, so we have a small candle close here. Now what? Okay, so here I would be looking for, again, that level here. This is very important. So if price does not go, or price does not close, above this level, then we could see price turn around. So it could, Justina says, go sideways. Yes, it could go sideways here because if it doesn't close above, it can just go sideways here. So that's something we have to be careful about. So let's take a look. If it doesn't break, Sunny says a drop is likely. Yeah, so if it doesn't break the high, then I would be looking for a drop. So again, going into a smaller time frame is important. So here we go. It went and tested the high, but it didn't hold above the high here. So it went right into the next pin right there. And now we have a drop here. So now what do we expect? Okay, Justina says sideways, down, Pritpal says, yeah, I would be looking for price to drop here, maybe start consolidating, but because it has rejected this level, it could come back lower here. So let's take a look. All right, so now we have a drop here. We have a nice bearish candle close. What do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking for maybe price to pull back a little bit and then drop further. Justina says pull back and drops and says drop further. Yes, so let's take a look. Here we go. So we pull back and now we need to see a break of this level for it to continue lower. So this is not a strong bullish candle here. So I'm still looking for a drop. So let's take a look. Okay, we're pulling back now. So it did come back into the same level, could not break the low. And now we have a bullish candle close here. Looks like a bullish pin bar. So what do we expect here? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to go up. Justina says up, Pritpal says up. Yep, I'd be looking for price to go and test the highs once again. Let's take a look. Okay, it doesn't go very far. So now we are just into this sideways chop here. Now what do we expect? We have a red candle close. What do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking for a price to go sideways, maybe come and test the support once again. Pitbull says down. Let's see, a little drop. Let's see. Okay, we're completely sideways here. So let's see. At this point, it could go test the high once again. Let's see. Yeah, we are very much in a sideways move. So at this point, I'm looking for it to go sideways still. We need a direction. All right, we have a bit of a pin bar here, bearish pin bar. So now what do we expect? All right, so here I am looking for maybe price to drop a little bit back into this this level here. So just as it says drop, it both says drop. Let's see, looking for it to drop into the support. Okay, so finally we have seen actually not only into the support, now it has broken through the support. Now what do we expect? Okay, so here I am looking for price to drop further. It could pull back into this resistance and then drop back into this support. So let's take a look. Okay, we've pulled back all the way back into our sideways move here. So now what? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to now it's choppy here. So we have a bullish candle close, which means it could go higher here. Justina says up. Let's see. Okay, so it goes higher. Now we have a little doji here. Now what? So we are definitely in this sideways chop here. So what do we expect it to do next now? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to drop, maybe go back and test this support once again. Purple says down. All right, so let's take a look. Justin says no bias, not trading this one. All right, so I would be looking for a drop here. I do like the pin here. Price is not able to break above, so it could drop. So let's see. Okay, so now we have a nice bearish engulfing candle. What next? All right, so here I would be looking for a bit of a pullback and then drop back down into the support. So let's take a look. Okay, so not much of a pullback. Nice drop. We are into all the way almost into the support here. And what next? So we have a large pin in the bottom. What happens now? Okay, so here, what are we looking for? All right, so because we have a pin here, that means that there are buyers here, which means it could go up. But because we still have that bearishness in the candle, it could go and come and test lower here. So either into the bottom or into that level here. So I'm looking for a pullback here and then potentially a move higher. So let's take a look. Okay, so Kim comes and tests this level once again. Now we have a bullish pin bar. And what do we expect here? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to go higher. Justina says higher. Yeah, I'm looking for price to go back into this level here. Pitbull says up. Okay, so let's take a look. Here we go. We have a bullish candle close here. It did go and test this level once again, and now it's moving higher. And where to next? So here I would be looking for price to go further up into our resistance here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so we have a pullback, looking for it to go higher. Oh, does not go higher. So it holds. And now we have a big bearish candle here. So what are we looking for? Okay, so pulses continue up then and go lower. That's what I'm looking for. Price to pull back into this previous resistance area and then potentially drop down into the support. So overall bias is to the downside. We are slowly making our way to the downside here, lower highs. So price is continuing lower. So let's see. Okay, didn't quite pull back too much, but we did get into our support and resistance, the next level. And now we are into this support here where we can see price had turned previously. And then we have a large pin in the bottom here. So what are we expecting now? Okay, so here I would be looking for a price to maybe a pullback. So we could get a pullback into this level here, and then it could go up from there. Pulses go up. Yeah, so I'm looking to see price will pull back into this level here, see how price had come back down here and then go back higher. So let's take a look, but I am looking for price to, I do expect buyers to be in here. So price could go up here. Okay, so we have a bearish candle close, hasn't quite broken the high here. Now what do we expect? Okay, so here I'm looking for price to come in, test the low once again. If it doesn't break the low, then we could see it go higher. So in this case, overall bias is to the downside, but this is where I would go into a smaller time frame and see how price reacts there. Okay, so here we have price tries to break through, but then pulls back higher. So we have a bullish candle here. What do we expect? All right, so here we have a bullish candle close. We have rejected the bottom. So sign says pullback, Justin says up. Yeah, so I'm looking for price to go back up, maybe go and test this level here. So so looks like buyers have stepped in. I'm not sure how much of a reaction, but I'm looking for price to go into this level. So let's take a look. Okay, here we are. And now price went all the way up, all the way down, and closed right in the middle. What do we expect it to do next? All right, so we have a very neutral candle close, very, very neutral sideways. So at this point, I would be looking for price to find a bias. So if price goes into the high here and holds below, then I'd be looking for a sell. Price goes into the bottom and holds above, I'm looking for a buy. So let's take a look. All right, so now we have seen a bullish candle close. We are back into this level here and right into the resistance here. So what do we expect now? So here we are at an interesting level. So even though it has gone above this level, but we are still into resistance here. So it is a strong bullish candle here, but we are into this resistance. So we have to be careful. So again, I will look at a smaller time frame and see what price does. But it is a strong candle. So my bias would be to the upside, but I would be very cautious and I want to check. So, all right, so let's see. Okay, so here we have price goes into the next level there. And then, so see these pins, so price goes into the next level. And now we have a bearish candle close. So what now? Okay, so here I'm looking for price to maybe drop again. The bias would be towards the bottom of the range. We are in a sideways market here and it's consolidating. So I've looked for a bit of a pullback and then a drop back down here. So let's take a look. Okay, so it actually pulls up higher. So now what do we expect? Okay, up. Yeah. So I'm looking for price to go up again. So again, we have to be careful at the highs, but it is a bullish candle close. I'm looking for price to go up. So let's take a look. Okay, so goes into the high here. And now we have a pin bar. So what do we expect now? Okay, so here, because we have a pin bar, we see rejection at the top there. I am looking for price to drop. Justina says drop. Pritpal says drop. And so I would be looking for a drop here as well. Okay, so we test the high once again, price drops, and now we have a sideways candles, or we have a neutral candle close here, pin on top, pin on the bottom, small candle body here. So what do we expect it to do now? Okay, so here it's interesting. So I would look for price to either go back and test this one, the resistance once again, if it holds below, looking for it to drop. So we do have, it is holding below this resistance. So as long as it stays below, I will be looking for a drop. So we are very much in a sideways move at this time. So let's see if we can get a drop here. Okay, so we do get a drop, but we keep seeing these pins in the bottom. So we have a bearish candle close here. Now, what do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to drop further here. So see if we can see a continuation towards the bottom here, bottom of the range. Let's see. Okay, so here we are. Now, what do we expect? Okay, so so it is a sideways move. We're still in the range. Price is slowly making its way down, but now we haven't quite broken the low here. So I would be careful. So I'm looking for price to maybe come back and test this level, but it could start to now pull back. So that's what we have to be careful about. So let's see if we can get price to drop into the bottom here, and then we'll see where it goes from there. Okay, so it drops a little bit, doesn't quite come right into the bottom. It goes into these pins here, and then we have a bullish candle close here. So now what do we expect? Okay, so Justin says pull back and go up, it both sides up. Yeah, so I'm looking for price to maybe pull back and go back towards the top of the range here. So let's take a look. It doesn't even do that. Now we have a candle close below our resistance, or sorry, below our support here. Bearish engulfing candle close, what do we expect? Okay, so here I would look for a bit of a pullback into this support, now turning resistant. It could go a little bit higher here, and then I'd be looking for continuation move to the downside. So let's take a look. Okay, so pull back a bit, dropped all the way into the next level, and now we have a bullish pin bar here. Okay, so what next? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to go back into this sideways move here. That's a big rejection candle, so I'd be looking for price to go up, and Pritnal says go up as well. Justina says go up, so let's take a look. Okay, yes. So that's a huge move to the upside, big candle. So there must be some news or some event that happened that caused it to move up. And now that we have a big candle to the upside, now what do we expect? Okay, so here I would be looking for a pullback because it is a big candle. So I'd be looking for a pullback into this support level or resistance turn support, and then continuation move to the to the upside here to the next resistance level, biases to the upside. So with this huge candle close here, but when we have such big candles, sometimes they can pull back. So we have to be careful, but I am looking for price to move to the next level. Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so it pulls back into this level. So we do have a small red candle, but it doesn't quite close below here, not very bearish. So here I'm still looking for price to go back up. So let's see. Okay, it's starting to pull back here, but we still have pins in the bottom, small candle here. So I'm still looking for price to go back up. So let's take a look. Okay, not so much. So we're pulling back quite a bit here. Now, what do we expect? Okay, so here I'm looking for, so what can we expect? So overall, we have seen about more than 50% pullback here. So the interesting thing will be price could go and go higher still here, because this could just be a pullback for a continuation move to the upside. So this one I would be careful with. So let's take a look. Okay, so here we have it. Hi, Larry. Okay, so what do we expect here? Next, we have a bullish candle close. There is a bit of a pin to the on the top. Where do we expect it to go? Okay, so here, what are we looking for? Justin says up. Yeah, so I would look for price to go and test the high once again here, and that this is where I would be careful. I am looking for price to go and test that level. If it breaks that level, I'm looking for it to continue to the next one. So let's take a look. My bias is to the upside here. Okay, so we have another bullish candle close. Haven't quite reached the high. Where do we expect it to go next? Okay, so here I'm looking for price to go up still. We have a nice bullish candle close. Again, I would be mindful of this, but overall my bias is to the upside. So let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Big candle close here. So we had bullish candle, pullback, another move to the upside. So now what? What do we expect here? Okay, so here I would be looking for price to pull back into this resistance area and turn into support, and then potentially another move to the upside. Bias is still bullish here, so let's take a look. Okay, so again, we have a bit of a pullback, and now I'm still looking for price to go higher here, so let's see. Okay, so it's similar to here. We are moving lower. My still bias is to the upside. It could pull back more though, so let's take a look. Okay, no, it holds there. So right into our resistance here, turning into support. So we have another bullish candle close here. Now what do we expect it to do? Okay, so here I will be looking for price to again pull back and then go up again. Bias is still to the upside, so let's take a look. Okay, so we have a pullback. We are getting close to our resistance level. So we have had a bunch of resistance right into this level. So we have a bearish candle close. And what do we do now here? Okay, so here I would look to see price will go and test the high once again. If it closes below the high, then we could see it come back down. So let's take a look. Okay, we have a bullish candle close. What do we expect it to do now? Okay, so now I'd be looking for price to again see if it'll go test the high. I'm looking for it to go up. So let's see. Okay, so now we have we've seen price go both ways, went all the way up, all the way down, and it has closed right in the middle here. All right, so I think we can wrap it up here. So actually tomorrow we don't have a session. We will be back with another session on Monday. Hopefully you guys are finding this exercise useful. It's just about training our brains to recognize the different candlestick patterns, to recognize what the price behavior is like, how the market moves up and down, because it doesn't just shoot up or shoot down. It has these ebbs and flows. So the idea is to really understand the ebbs and flows of the market and ingrain that in our brains. So hope you guys enjoyed this exercise. I do recommend practicing on your own as well. And another thing you could do is to practice under live market conditions is take a look at the daily candle close. So once the price has closed for the day, New York close, I suggest doing projections. So do a projection for where you expect the price to go, and the next day come back and take a look at it to see if it actually went where you said it was going to go. Starting next week, I've been wanting to do this forward testing for a bit here, but I have been struggling with getting all the data into the spreadsheet. I hate doing paperwork, so I finally am past that. So starting next week, we will do forward testing as well. So not Monday, Tuesday, we'll take a look at the spreadsheet that I have for the previous day, and we will see based on the projections whether they worked out or how they played out. So we can have a bit of forward testing with our back testing as well. So that's the plan. So you guys have a wonderful weekend. And if it's a long weekend for you guys, have fun. And I will see you again on Monday then. Bye for now.